Heads up, friends. The unofficial Shopify podcast is made by indie entrepreneurs for indie entrepreneurs and may contain material not suitable for all audiences, like swearing or economics. Listener discretion is advised. In the world of e-commerce, it is high time we shift focus. It's not just about chasing revenue anymore. In the face of escalating ad costs and slim margins, your real profit is the game changer. That's the name of the game for 2024. Profit. That's where Store Hero shines. By seamlessly integrating your sales, marketing, and cost data, Store Hero unveils the true picture of profitability, even down to a single order's contribution margin. Scaling your ad spend will become a confident, data-driven decision propelled by clear, actionable insights from a platform that values profit over revenue. Ready to redefine e-commerce success? Visit storehero.ai and explore a platform tailored for the profit-centric brand. And here's a sweet deal. Schedule a demo and mention the unofficial Shopify podcast for an exclusive offer, a free profitability audit for 2024. That's storehero.ai. My friends, welcome back to the unofficial Shopify podcast. It's me, your host, Kurt Elster.
Check nasty.
And today we're going to talk about Gas Monkeys, Gas Monkey Garage. Our guest today is from a show you may recognize if you were watching Discovery Channel a lot, say 15 years ago. You were probably familiar with the show Fast and Loud, which was about a garage, a speed shop called Gas Monkey Garage. Today, that is a very successful Shopify store. It's gasmonkeygarage.com. And I want to hear that story from a man who was instrumental in making that happen, Craig Martens, who is partnered with Richard Rawlings, host of Fast and Loud and the and founder of Gas Monkey Garage. And so we're going to hear that story and hear how they have made quite an impact and a lot of success by giving away cars, by doing these big sweepstakes giveaways that counterintuitively giving away a huge prize can in fact be quite profitable. All right, we're gonna dive into that and hear how it goes. Craig, welcome. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, Kurt.
My pleasure. And you're in Vegas right now for SEMA, the big aftermarket automotive show, right?
Yeah, we're doing a very Gas Monkey thing. So 3 months ago, we were not going to SEMA. We had no cars going to SEMA, and now we are here with 4 cars and making quite a splash over here.
You've got unsurprisingly, a shop that was born out of a reality TV show has quite an extraordinary YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, so about 2.5 years ago, we just 100% focused on our YouTube channel. It's great. No fake drama. Really what's happening in the shop, and from the good stuff, the bad stuff, the funny stuff, it's very real.
I love stuff like that, just where you're able to share in an authentic and genuine way the work you're doing that then creates the content that then leads to more work. You end up on this wonderful content marketing flywheel. Well, all right. When did Gas Monkey start? When do you join? Let's establish a timeline here.
Gas Monkey started a long time ago, so it's actually a really cool story. Richard founded Gas Monkey Garage to get a show on Discovery Channel. It's an unbelievable story. Like, he didn't have a shop and someone found him and they're like, hey, you look like you'd be good on camera. Let's do a shop. He wanted to be on Discovery. He was always a gearhead, flipping cars with his friends. So he started a shop, started getting some work, pitched it to Discovery Channel, and had 16 seasons over there.
16 seasons. Whoa.
16 seasons with a number of spin-off shows as well. So Richard is marketing guru, very, very talented guy, business guy, marketing guy, awesome to work with. So about 2.5 years ago, we severed our relationship with the Discovery Channel, which meant that there's a bunch of things we could now do that we weren't able to do before, social media, and we started focusing on e-commerce. So when I came in, Richard knew we wanted to do something different. We were already on Shopify, which was great, but our supply chain needed some work, and we knew that we wanted to grow it. So immediately got to work on the supply chain side and started testing with some marketing. So all the typical CRO type stuff, we tried running ads, nothing really worked for us. So it's not super uncommon in the automotive space to give away these large cars. We're not the first people to do it. There are some really great, smart people that kind of led in the space, but we figured we'd give it a shot. So Our first sweepstakes, we had probably 30 cars sitting at the shop, and we said, hey, the next 60 days, every dollar you spend on our website is going to get you an entry to win. You're going to come to Gas Monkey Garage with basically a blank check for $100,000. And if you choose a $50,000 car, you get that car and we'll send you home with 50 grand. If you choose an $80,000 car, we'll send you home with a check for 20 grand. So we ran that for about 60 days and it was unbelievably successful for us. It was, blew out of the water anything else we'd ever tried for any type of conversion rate optimization or marketing campaign. So we were like, oh, wow, this was great. Can we do it again? And we did it again and it was phenomenal. And basically what we realized a few things. One of the things we realized that if you give someone the chance to win a life-changing prize, they're much more likely to take an action, right? Like people need t-shirts anyway. People like Gas Monkey Garage anyway. If you can give them this awesome prize attached to it, they're much more likely to purchase. Very cool, right? The other thing we realized is that, let's say we had I'm just going to make up a number, $1 million quarterly marketing budget. We could take that marketing budget, put it towards a sweepstakes, spend far less on the big platforms. I won't name them. Far less on those big platforms with better overall results, while allocating a percentage of your marketing budget back to the customers who we love and love us. So I just fundamentally believe in that model, and it's been very, very successful for us.
Okay, so we've got going back, it sounds like, 20 years. Gas Monkey is a traditional garage setup, traditional-ish, with great branding and a accompanying reality TV show.
Correct.
And that carries it. And I'm sure it had a merch shop. I'm sure it had a website attached to it.
Both.
And then just Discovery relationship ends. That show's still in syndication. You can still watch it. So there's ongoing goodwill and marketing that's occurring there, which is fantastic. We see that with our clients who are on Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you could tell when their episode aired.
Right, totally.
It spikes. So definitely some benefit there. And then you go... now it's transitioned into this hybrid where it's like YouTube channel, garage setup, building cars for that content. But then, the website itself, very traditional e-commerce. You are not selling cars on a Shopify store. You are selling t-shirts, hot sauces, accessories, car detailing products. These are all things we've sold on Shopify, and I'm sure some listeners have too. So what's that transition look like to building this very traditional catalog where you're selling direct to consumer, a $20, $25 item versus flipping cars?
Totally. So selling t-shirts was always part of the business model. Richard started this to, sell cars, flip cars, be in the automotive space and sell some t-shirts along the way. So, we've been selling t-shirts for a very long time. We just haven't been selling t-shirts at this level and having this level of focus at it. So, it's something we take really, really seriously. When I first came on board, we probably looked at 50 different blank t-shirts and found the absolute best one, the brightest colors, the best quality. So we take that stuff very seriously. To your point, things like hot sauce and car care, the car detailing line, right? We keep bolting on these additional lines and they've been really great for us. But we're an automotive lifestyle brand and we're going to continue to bolt on different things that make sense for our customers and broaden out our shop and keep bringing new designs to life.
I enjoy the carbon fiber key holder. I think that's a nice one.
Me too. Yeah, I have a carbon fiber wallet, a carbon fiber wedding ring, and as much carbon fiber on my cars as I can afford.
Probably the dumbest one I did was carbon mud flaps on a Jaguar. It was just a sheet of carbon fiber bolted into the fender. Yep, this looks right. You make that transition into traditional e-commerce, building on this great brand loyalty and this audience and, transitioning into a YouTube channel. And then, but not that crazy a change because early on, Richard's selling t-shirts out of a van, wasn't he? Wasn't this part of the core story?
We've got our merch van. Yeah, Richard, when we first started, he basically went and I don't know if he bought or leased, but he bought this giant truck with a giant trailer, built a car and started taking it to car shows all over the country. And he would sell t-shirts out of that. Then he got the van, he would sell t-shirts out of that. So from the very beginning, he's been pushing the brand of Gas.
When does the online store get on Shopify, the platform?
We've been on Shopify for a long time. When I came on board, we were on Shopify. About 2.5 years ago, we switched our retail store over to Shopify POS. So we kind of integrated those systems. But we really started taking it seriously when we started doing the sweepstakes.
Why Shopify? It's a loaded question. I mean, we know it's the unofficial Shopify podcast, but why Shopify?
I think Shopify has a tremendous advantage over all its competition because of its app systems, right? So Shopify has thousands, if not tens of thousands of developers who are working for free, developing apps, making Shopify better because of its marketplace of apps. That's my belief.
And I agree with it. Like whatever problem you're trying to solve, integration, whatever, there's an app integration, middleware service. There's someone in that ecosystem. And because Shopify does such a good job of fostering those relationships, and certainly I've benefited from it, and also just documenting how to work with the platform, it makes it very easy and attractive for people to get involved. And so the flip side of that question, what challenges do you face with Shopify? What's the thing you're like, man, I wish I had this app that did this?
I think my developers could probably answer that question more than me, right? Like I know what I want, and sometimes, I've my previous job, I was the COO of a tech company, so I don't write code, so I can ask for things, and sometimes I'm right. I'm like, hey, I think this should be easy, and it's easy, and sometimes I'm like, I think this should be hard, it's hard, but sometimes I go, I think this should be really easy, and it's really difficult. So, I mean, there are times that happens, but again, with Shopify, it's you have to be careful not to bolt on too many apps, add too many lines of additional code, bloating it up, but we go through periods where we look into that and see what we can clean up. But that's really the only thing I would say is you can get kind of too crazy with the apps. You can get too crazy with the pop-ups and all the different things you can do. That's been our focus lately, is going back now that the Sweepstakes has been so successful for us, looking at CRO, looking at landing pages, A/B testing, all these fundamental things that most companies do to start and grow. We're doing that to kind of refine our growth now that we're at the numbers that we're happy with.
That makes total sense. And just like looking at the site, it's straightforward but attractive, and it does a lot of stuff right. There's some nice features in here, like in the collection grid on hover, I could pick the size of my shirt and add to cart. It's really going to help with average order value, potentially conversion rate. We got some nice icons on here. I got there's a cross-sell pop-up. It looked like it might have been Zipify one-click upsell maybe that was doing the cross-sell pop-ups.
That sounds about right. We just installed that. Yeah, we're in CRO mode right now. So we just did upsell. We just added reviews. We're doing a number of things that we're trying to round everything out.
But the big play here, like everything else, fairly straightforward for an online brand, like a lifestyle brand like this, right? We're selling this lifestyle, and if you identify with it, you like it, you've got a face to the brand. It's cool branding. I mean, like the Gas Monkey design and logos and t-shirts. They're cool. They just are. If you're into that stuff, which I'm in the target market here. And so like once you go, okay, you've held up the mirror. This feels like me. I vibe with this. Now I'm in. I want to buy, but there's just, there's infinite places where I can go buy a t-shirt. I can buy accessories. And so I need the excuse. I need just help me help you with a purchase by giving me something. And in your case, it's, I'm going to buy a t-shirt. Well, these t-shirts start at $35, a little pricey.
Good quality.
And then we say, I'll get 700 raffle entries. This is on the collection page, it's on the product page.
That's right.
I'll get 700 raffle entries to win a car or $100,000 cash. So you're not just selling a t-shirt. This is a lotto ticket.
It's not a lotto ticket. Again,
legally speaking.
What we see is people love our products. We have a tremendous amount of people who come back, right? That was always really important to us. We didn't want people, buying something and getting a garbage product, right? So, but no, you're absolutely right. So we use an app, speaking of Shopify, called Viral Sweep. Shout out to Viral Sweep. They're a tremendous platform.
It's good. I've used Viral Sweep. It's very good.
Tremendous support. The founder over there is super quick to get back with any questions we have. They've done custom development for us to build things outside of what they traditionally offer. Can't say enough good things about them. But things like, like you said, 700 entries, right? So right now we're running a promotion, 20x entries. We generally stay between 10 and 20. We don't want a situation where, someone buys when it's 1x and then it's 20x and they go, hey, I don't really have any entries compared to everybody else. So we keep that pretty consistent. It's normal in the space to do the multiplier, right? So for every dollar you spend, you get an entry, and then we multiply that somewhere between 10 and 20. So you buy a $35 t-shirt, you get 700 entries. Unfortunately, to the listeners, we will not be running the promotion we are today, which is for a TRX and $100,000. You get entered to that, and we're actually in an overlap for a brand new Dark Horse Mustang and $20,000. So everyone that purchases on the website today gets entered into both of those sweepstakes. Probably by the time this comes out, we'll just be on the Dark Horse, but it's a tremendous car. I think it has 32 miles on it, and they're very difficult to get right which is a cool niche we found. We kind of like keep our ear to the pavement of the hot cars, and we gave away a C8 Z06 when they were really big, couldn't get them anywhere else, and we just try to go out there and find the coolest cars and give our people the opportunity to get them kind of before there's a real opportunity to buy them in the market.
I mean, it's not just an expensive item. We're also going with a rare item. We're really, really turning the screws here to make this as attractive as possible. And so you're doing these giveaways back to back.
Yeah, so we started doing sweepstakes, pause. Then we built it out enough where we could go sweepstakes. And now we're doing it where we're actually starting one before the next one ends. So we have 2 live sweepstakes right now. So by the official rules of the sweepstakes, every dollar you spend on the site, you get a number of entries, which means that's happening for 2 sweepstakes. So every dollar spent on the site today, you're getting entered for the TRX and $100,000 and a Dark Horse Mustang and $20,000. So theoretically, one person could win both.
The holidays are here.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
First comes Halloween, then Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, New Year's, and great Scott, how will we ever keep up? Easy. Use Zipify Pages. Zipify Pages. It's a landing page builder created by the founder of a $180 million Shopify store. It has everything you need to launch your next promotion more quickly and for a lot more profit. With their library of proven templates, you could build a high-performing holiday funnel in just a few clicks, from Black Friday to New Year's and everything in between. And because every template is tested first on their 9-figure Shopify store, you know they actually work. Plus, you can use Zipify Pages to optimize your product pages, blog pages, and even your homepage, so your store's ready to convert more of that holiday traffic. So if you want to have your most profitable and stress-free holiday season ever, then go to zipify.com/Kurt. That's zipify.com/KURT to start your 14-day free trial today. And to get an unadvertised gift, email help@zipify.com and ask for the holiday bonus. And if I do the math here, realistically, I got to sell 3,000 t-shirts in a month to justify, like, just straight revenue, justify the giveaway, the car.
It's a gamble, right? And I think, I don't know this for sure. I think that's why sweepstakes are legal, because there's a chance that the sponsor of the sweepstakes will lose money.
Oh, okay. So they're like, you have risk as well.
Right. So a raffle, for example. There's a set number of tickets. There's generally a set price. They can only be run by nonprofits, but the math is kind of there, right? Like you go to a charity auction and there's a $2,000 prize, but they're auctioning or raffling $4,000 worth of tickets. You kind of go, okay, it's for a good cause, so I'll do it. By definition, with the sweepstakes, you don't know the odds of winning until the very end when all the entries are in.
Right. And where did you get the idea? Like, I've seen it before, but it also, it's fairly outrageous when you're thinking of your own business and be like, you know what, we're just going to give away $100,000 in 30 days, and hopefully that'll work out for us.
Right.
How'd you come across the idea? Where'd it come from?
Yeah, the first one was a little bit of a gamble, right? But there's a lot of great people in the space that do it. It's actually a really small space, and everyone's pretty friendly. So the 8080, Speed Society, Tuner Call, Own Boss of the world, we're all friendly, and we help each other out. If we see someone on someone's website or a bug or something, we'll help each other out. But there have been people, Diesel Power Gear, they ran 100 sweepstakes, right? So these things work. We saw people doing it. We assumed if you could be running 100 of these over and over and over again, there was a reason they were doing that. So we took a chance, and it really paid off for us.
So you mentioned Diesel Power Gear.
Mm-hmm.
That was the show Diesel Brothers,
correct,
which ran 8 seasons. That was their website, right?
That's right. Yeah, and I don't know the full story there, but they ran 100. They stopped, and now they're running, I believe, another sweepstakes company from a different name.
And I have experience with this. As outlandish as this approach sounds, I have direct experience with this, and so I know it works. For Hoonigan, with them, like you, we used Viral Sweep and some custom code to display points, and really just a very similar setup to how you approached it, and same deal. They would do a car build and then give the car away at the end of a sweepstakes, and we had multiplier days. It really quite similar to how you had set it up, and based on that experience, I know absolutely this works. when you market it right. There is a chance that it falls on its face
Right.
and you're out some money on your vehicle purchase. But no, absolutely, this approach works. People are into it. The thing that always frustrated me about it is when I see the Instagram comments. Like I don't know what it is, but like on social media when Houdinigan's promoting this stuff, or you see like other sweepstakes, because as you mentioned, within our space, there's lots of people give away cars.
Right.
It turns out, and you'll see these comments. So they're like, that's fake. They only give it away to their friends, which like you'd never do because it's straight up illegal. Like none of us want to go to prison for fraud.
Right.
Like it's not worth it.
Yeah, I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said, "Haters gonna hate," and we see that like yesterday, right? We're at SEMA, everyone's just loving these cars, right? I'm taking a step back and just watching people enjoy the cars. It's really cool and kind of hearing what they're saying about it. You go to the comments and people are like, "What a piece of junk!" And it's like no matter what you do, you're going to get that. But you're absolutely right, Kurt. Like for a company, first off, it would probably be very hard to cheat in the space, right? So the way it works is every sweepstakes needs a sponsor and a third-party administrator. The third-party administrator, for the lack of a better term, is kind of like the cop, right? So they're helping you. They're making sure that everything is written in a way that is legally compliant, that's going to work for you. Ours is great. They help us out with different strategy pieces. But then part of their job, we give them the entries from Viral Sweep. And then part of their job is not only picking the winner, but making sure that that person gets what they were supposed to get in the official rules. Then they report back to the states, I believe, hey, we ran this sweepstakes. It is over. Here's the person. Here's what's called ARV, actual retail value. They got this ARV. That's what the sweepstakes said. Kind of clean it up, done, and they make sure that all that happens. So I don't even know how you would cheat in this space if you have a proper third-party administrator.
And the other thing I've noticed about these sweepstakes, they're often like car plus cash. I assume the cash just offset the fact that you have to pay capital gains tax as the recipient when you receive this item. Like you got a expensive item at no cost to you. And so like that's an asset. And now the federal government says, hey, you got to grease our palms here.
That's right. Yeah, we generally see it somewhere around 20 to 30% of the car's value is given in cash to help pay taxes, right? So if you win a $50,000 car, it's basically like you received $50,000 in additional income that year that you're going to have to pay taxes on.
Which, an unexpected tax bill like that, not the most fun thing. But you want the car, but also you don't want this person to have to sell the car just to pay the taxes for it. So I get why they're frequently, they use this structure.
Yeah, I heard Mr. Beast talking about this, and he's like, I've never understood why people will complain about like, hey, you gave me this prize I can't afford. Sell it. Like there's never a situation in which you can't sell this prize and make a tremendous amount of money. So, so some of the people who give away some of the more exotic cars, that's a big question they ask. Hey, are you going to keep this car? Or are you going to sell it? And that drives a ton of interactions in the comments and boosts their ad and really helps it perform.
Oh, smart. So all right. I think we've implied it. We've danced around it. How successful is this? How has this sweepstakes marketing played a role in growing GasMonkeyGarage.com?
Yeah, we've 20x'd our business in 2 years.
Whoa!
Primarily, almost exclusively because of sweepstakes marketing.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the data,
that'll work.
Yeah, and if you look at the data, right, email works better, text works better, social works better. There's a difference between on our YouTube videos even, right? Like we used to do a YouTube video every Monday, and I would know whether before I even watched it, I would know whether they mentioned the sweepstakes or not. But when you're able to say, hey, go to our website and buy some gear versus walking by this, Porsche GT3 RS that we're giving away and saying, oh, by the way, this car is being given away. You go make a purchase on our website, right? Or enter in another method of entry. But it works. The way that it works the best is through paid advertising. We were able to dramatically, and I know this is for some reason a controversial topic in the marketing space is ROAS. I'm a big ROAS guy. There's reasons for it. I'm not saying everyone needs to be a ROAS guy, but we use it for some internal reasons. But when you're able to increase like a 2.5 to a 5 ROAS isn't twice as good. It's 10 times as good, right? So when we were able to raise our ROAS a tremendous amount, we were able to throw so much more money at spend, and it was profitable spend. And that's what got us that, the majority of that 20x. was being able to successfully advertise on platforms like Meta.
I want to make this clear. Yes, this is legal.
Completely legal, yeah. So, we took it very seriously from the beginning, right? You did a great job telling the story of Gas Monkey. Like, we're not known. So, we're not some guys in a garage that are going, hey, let's see if this is going to work. Like, we know there's a lot of eyes on us. So from the very beginning, we took legal incredibly seriously, to the point where, like, even to this day, when our, friendly competition launches a sweepstakes, I'll read their official rules just to make sure that, if anything's changing or if there's something I can learn in there. We've taken the official rules incredibly seriously from the beginning. Maybe we can get into that if you want to, but sweepstakes have official rules. Within those official rules, there are things like the time frame of the sweepstakes. You cannot change that. You can't be 3 days before the sweepstakes is over going, oh, we're going to lose money on this, let's extend it out another week. There's a start date, there's an end date that's concrete. There are methods of entry that you can't change once it's started, right? So a method of entry would be, for every dollar you spend on the website, you get an entry. Or if you sign up to our subscription program, we'll give you 500 bonus entries, all these different things to get entries. And within those methods of entry, there always need to be a free method of entry. In the United States, they consider a postcard a free method of entry. So the rule is, if you send in a postcard, you will get your entries, and that's how you get entered in for free. So that's when they say no purchase necessary, enter here to learn more. When you go in to learn more, there's always a method of how you enter for free.
And what's funny is when you do say, hey, you could enter by submitting a postcard, and you could like stipulate stuff like, well, it's got to be handwritten so people can't like bulk print them. They'll do it. You will get people who mail in the entry, and you got to count them.
I've asked, right? Like because that's one of the hard part about sweepstakes is when the sweepstakes is over, we have to wait because people could mail in a free mail entry on that day. So we have to wait like 7 to 10 days for all those to get snail mailed in to the PO box. That's why it takes so long to announce the winner. It's not like the drawing of the name. We literally have to wait for all that mail to come in. And I've asked, I was like, hey, how many do we get? And our third party administrator is like, you get more than most people. Like you get more than anyone. It's a lot, just because of who we are. But she's never told me exactly how many people are mailing in postcards. But
tell me about the bonus multiplier days. Like, we know that we've always had success doing bonus multiplier days.
Yeah.
And I saw on your site you do something really cool where people can buy additional entries, and then like the entry, that's the cross sell, and then the entry packages will have something attached to them. Like there's one I could pay, for 5,000 entries, and then I could do like a FaceTime call with Richard Rawlings.
That's right. Yeah, it's our little on Shopify Cameo. So the two unique methods of entry we have is we have a 4-pack of white monkey stickers that if you purchase, it doubles your entries. That's, in our rules as a method of entry. And then we have the monkey multipliers. So within the monkey multipliers, you can get things like
the monkey multiplier branding. Like anytime you can get that branded term with alliteration, just fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, it's we try to have fun with it, but you can get things like a FaceTime from Richard, like one-on-one direct call, or he'll make you a video for a friend or whatever it might be, or signed merchandise. But it's another way to so, you mentioned 20x, right? This is a way to get 25, 30, 35, 40x entries or 50x entries as an additional perk of buying some of these products.
So it'll be like, normally a t-shirt, it's like 1-to-1. I spend 35 on a t-shirt, that gets me 35 entries. But, it's a bonus multiplier day today. So you buy that t-shirt, you're actually going to get 70 entries. Well, hey, you can, then pay for this a call with Richard. It's like, you're right, it's like Cameo.
Yeah.
And then like, boom, now I have 5,070 entries.
Yeah, and maybe they just want to have a conversation with Richard, right? Maybe they're buying it for a friend who's a big, for their birthday, and they're a big fan, and they just happen to be getting entries on top of it.
Well, talk to me about the marketing cycle here. Is it just about like talking it up? I want to hear that kind of like that marketing calendar for one of these sweepstakes, and like maybe any gotchas that are in there.
Yeah, so what we do, we'll look at a calendar. Our sweepstakes run anywhere from 45 to call it 72 days. It really depends on kind of the time of the year, what else we have going on, what cars we have coming in. This one, for example, the Dark Horse that launched last week ends on, I believe, January 2nd or 3rd. And one of the big reasons for that is we've got a very exciting car coming in that we think should be in before that time frame. So we were going to do a shorter one, but we extended it out, and we're hoping to do a lengthy overlap on it. But we've got a very, very cool one-off, like crazy car coming in. So things like what car we have coming in next and when we're going to get it can change the length of the sweepstakes. But we'll sit down, we'll look at a calendar. We basically need to develop the multiplier calendar ahead of time. It's part of the official rules. But we'll just look and say, when are we going to run our 10, 15, and 20x entries? Where are we going to give bonus entries in between? When do we have new products coming out? Like, do we have something to talk about all the time during the sweepstakes? And we just put that in an Excel sheet, believe it or not, and kind of get that all planned out. Every car is a little bit different. So, how we film the cars for the assets we create for the different paid channels is a little bit different. Obviously, TikTok videos work on our Facebook advertising, but our Facebook ads don't work as well on TikTok. So we make sure that we have enough content for all the different platforms. A lot of that stuff Richard needs to be involved with. A lot of it doesn't, like the rolling shots and the stills of the car. You could just take a photo, like if you go to, the picture on Gas Monkey Garage right now has Richard in it, but that photo would look great without him, right? 2 cars, Gas Monkey in the background. And we've just kind of got a little playbook of everything we need to launch a sweepstakes. You can't just do everything and think it's going to go well. You kind of have to hear people's thoughts. What do they like about the car? Do they have any questions about the car? And, create content continuously throughout the sweepstakes, kind of based on people's feedback.
I see the value in this. I love what you're doing here. And I love Gas Monkey. But I think for listeners, for most people who don't previously have cable television shows, the idea of giving away a $100,000 item seems inaccessible. So is there does it have to be an outrageous prize for this to work? Like, where is the threshold, you think, where people will pay attention? Because the approach itself is not terribly difficult. You want to make sure that you get legal nailed, right? You don't want to get in trouble. But as far as the actual prize, what's my wiggle room here?
It's a really good question. So I tell, the people that I talk to, always call it a raffle, call it a giveaway, call it a sweepstakes. Giving stuff away gets people excited. The question is ROI. So if you're going to give away a $300 item, and let's say you get a 7x return on that, you make $2,100. How much work went into that? Was that worth your time versus doing something else? Maybe, maybe not. Every company is different, right? So, using it as a way to get engagement and follows and, building up your social channels, sweepstakes work tremendously well. Platforms like Gleam, for example, you can give away something relatively small and get a lot of return out of it. The question is ROI. And as you get larger as an organization, the dollars are way more important than the percentages, right? So if you spent $10 on an ad and had 1,000 ROI or had 1,000 ROAS, it's hey, I'd rather have an ad that had a 5 ROAS that I'm just making up numbers that I could spend $1 million on, right? Because at that point you have scale and you have real dollars. So I would say everyone should be experimenting with sweepstakes and giveaways, whether it's for revenue or engagement. Probably engagement when you first start out. But yeah, to your point, Kurt, we would have people calling us saying, hey, it looks like the sweepstakes is working really, really well for you. How do you do it? And we'd sit down and we'd spend 30 minutes and say, okay, here's our lawyer. Here's the person we use for our third-party administrator. Here's what you have to look out for. Give them the whole playbook, and we'd follow up in a month, and no one would ever do it. It was either they couldn't afford it, they didn't have the budget currently, they didn't understand the legal, they didn't have time to learn the legal. So it's, if you really want to do it, you can do it, but you need the time.
It's time to take the conversion challenge. Look, if tracking issues, cookie restrictions, or abandoned carts are holding back the full potential of your store, Elevar's here with a solution. With their server-side tracking and session enrichment tech, Elevar ensures every customer interaction is going to be tracked and attributed correctly. That eliminates data gaps and tracking inconsistencies for you. And the result is a potential 200% increase in emails sent and almost double the revenue. To sweeten the deal, Elevar offers plans starting at $0 a month. And to make sure you could truly test that Elevar difference, a 15-day free trial is included with every plan. The Elevar Conversion Challenge invites Shopify merchants like you, yes you, to take control of your data, boost your conversion tracking, and witness the remarkable growth in your revenue. Visit getelevar.com to learn more about how Elevar can make a significant difference in your conversion tracking. Don't let another potential customer slip through the cracks. Start your journey to better conversion tracking with Elevar today. Go to getelevar.com to get started. ELEVAR, Elevar. Even if you had the time and money to do it, doing it for the first time, it is intimidating.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
And so you've got, when we talked before the show, you've attempted to make this, to democratize this approach a little bit. You've got a service called Shared Sweeps. Tell me about this.
Yeah. So, when we saw how well sweepstakes marketing worked for Gas Monkey and then had conversations like I was talking about with other people who said, hey, this is working really well. How do we do it? The sweepstakes worked so well, we wanted to press that button so hard our fingers broke. So there's a couple easy places your brain goes where it goes, maybe we give away bigger prizes. Maybe we give away prizes more often. Maybe we spin up a new company called Exotic Monkey and we give away exotic cars instead of the muscle cars and hot rods that we give away at Gas Monkey Garage, speaking to a new audience. And I kind of took a step back and said, we know that this works. We think there's some kind of like psychological factor. People really enjoy it. How do we make this more accessible for people? Instead of doing, Gas Monkey Garage doing 2 sweepstakes, what if we helped hundreds of brands run sweepstakes, right? I mean, I think there's something like 12,000 Shopify Plus brands in the United States. Like there's hundreds of thousands of Shopify brands that are doing tremendous amounts of revenue. So we thought, what if we, knowing what we know about sweepstakes and understanding the rules like we do, launched a sweepstakes, and instead of selling widgets to make our money back, we partnered with e-commerce companies and made it tremendously easy for them to run a sweepstakes their own way. So that is what Shared Sweeps is. So we are currently in the middle of a $100,000 sweepstakes. A client can sign our contract in the morning and start marketing a $100,000 sweepstakes that afternoon if they're good enough at creative, right? So all the waiting time, the official rules, the registration, the bonding, all has been done on the back end by us, and they just go and start marketing it. There's no multiplier schedule. We thought that would be too difficult to kind of communicate to all the different brands. But it's, people can send an email to their customer base and say, hey, use this coupon code or track it through Klaviyo, and every dollar you spend at our website is going to get you an entry to win this $100,000 sweepstakes brought to you by Shared Sweeps.
And so, all right, I say, hey, I want to offer sweepstakes to my audience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's like some vetting, some back and forth. And you go, okay, it'll work. We think you're a good candidate, and sign the contract. Here's the legal. Here's everything you got to do to be compliant, and now go market it. And then I turn around on my website in my emails, I can say, hey, every dollar you spend, you get an entry in a sweepstakes to win $100,000.
Right.
And then at the end of the period, I provide you like a CSV of all my orders from that period.
So we're not a marketing agency, but we act like one. So, we're no code. We're purposely no code. We didn't want, another app, another line of code on your software. So we just get access to your Shopify, your Klaviyo, your Attentive, whatever it might be that we're using for tracking. And we would, do 2 things with that. Like if you send out that Klaviyo email and you're used to making 10 and you make 70 and you're all excited, well, we do 2 things at 70. Number one, we bill you from that, right? So we bill off attributable revenue instead of a flat fee or a monthly fee. I'm sorry, like a startup fee or a monthly fee. We want this to be a tool in the toolbox that you can use as little or as much as you want to, not feel forced to use it. They're like, hey, I'm paying $10,000 a month to be part of this service. I got to get my money's worth. It's like, maybe this month makes sense to send out 5 emails about the sweepstakes. Maybe next month makes sense to send out 0. So it's all based on attributable revenue. But within that 70,000 that you would generate in revenue, we would bill you 10% of that, and then we would go in and say what orders made up that 70,000, and those are the entries. So we would then, at the very end of the sweepstakes, be able to take those entries, compile them for all the different brands that participated in the shared sweepstakes, give them to the third-party administrator, and get a winner.
Okay. And then once a winner has been chosen, how does that award process happen? Because that's a big part of it. Like for people to take it seriously, and because, you see those comments, like I mentioned earlier, it's to give it to their friends. And you have to show that, like, yeah, a real person got this awarded, like document that. And that's part of your content marketing.
Totally. So it's, luckily we have Gas Monkey Garage, right? So we've got this phenomenal production crew. And what we do is we get the winner, and we don't actually call the winner first. We call the brand that the winner came from. And we say, how involved in this do you want to be, right? Because everyone's able to market that there was a winner from the videos and the photos that we take, right? We go their big publisher clearinghouse check, go to the winner's house, they get the full prize. But sometimes, the brand may want to be involved, the brand may not want to be involved. But every brand that participates is able to, at the end, go and say, hey, Karen from New Jersey was the winner of the Shared Sweeps $100,000. Here's how she spent the money. Take all the emails of the people that participated in the sweepstakes and say, hey, here's the winner. Oh, by the way, the next sweepstakes is live. Maybe you'll be the next lucky winner.
That's what keeps it going and gets people interested. Is like they got to see
the social proof.
Oh
right?
Man, this is real. Somebody worked it. There's social proof there.
Right. And to your point with the comments though, right? Like people will say, "Hey, this is fake," and we'll say, "Okay, well, we've had 10 winners on the Gas Monkey side. We have a YouTube, like a specific YouTube video about every single one of them." And believe it or not, those videos don't do tremendously well. I think we're really the only brand that gets like halfway decent views on ours, but there are some very good sweepstakes companies that make high quality content about the winners, and they get 600-700 views. And it's probably all that person's friends and family.
Do I have to give away $100,000, or can I? If I want to give away a car that costs less than 100, can I do that?
Yeah. So the way that we have it set up, it's funny. My initial gut was to let people choose their own prize, and then I thought it'd be too confusing if someone's giving away a Jeep and someone's giving away a truck and someone's giving away the cash. We then started, going out to market and talking to people and say, "Hey, this is what we're building. Is this of interest to you?" And the feedback was, "Yes, this is very interesting." But so I did some research, and like the Tesla Model Y is like the best selling car in the state of California. It's the number one selling EV. EVs are getting really big. So we said, "Hey, we're going to give away a Tesla and $50,000. And then we were talking to some outdoorsy brands, and they were like, "We don't want to give away a Tesla. We love the idea, but our people won't care about a Tesla," which is, this moment for me where I'm like, we live so much in the same vein as our customers that we would never think to give away, a Tesla, a Gas Monkey garage, for example, maybe a Tesla, but not a Tesla. Or maybe a Model Plaid, right? But not a Model Y. And it was just like such a moment for me where I was like, you have to give away a prize that resonates with your customer base. So what we came back to was the ARV, actual retail value of the prize for the winner, has to be $100,000, no matter what. So that person, and that's part of what a third-party administrator does, is going to make sure they get $100,000 worth of value. If one brand wants to give away a Tesla and $50,000, they can do that. If another brand wants to give away an F-250 and $20,000, they can totally do that. If someone wants to give away a $25,000 dream vacation and $75,000, they can do that. They can all market this. We have to make sure that person gets $100,000 in value. And then the way you close the loop at the end is by saying, again, "Hey, Karen from New Jersey won the $100,000 sweepstakes. Here's what she did with the money." And so you're able to close the loop regardless of what the company was marketing.
How many, obviously you've done many sweepstakes for Gas Monkey. How new is Shared Sweeps? How many have you been able to do with this?
Shared Sweeps is probably 4 months old, and it has been live for 3 weeks.
Oh, we just started. Okay.
We just started. So we have, and again, so what we did during those 4 months was building up the system. The official rules took much longer to put together than I was anticipating. I could do a Gas Monkey sweepstakes in 3 days, easy, 2 days. The Shared Sweeps was different. Like, this is no one is doing anything like this in the sweepstakes space in the digital age. Like, they used to do these back in the day, like, Sears and, all these like big old traditional retailers would come together and run shared sweepstakes and then take out advertisements in newspapers and promote them. And they'd split the cost that way. Nobody has done this since the internet age. So the official rules were a little bit different. We wanted to make sure they were perfect. So it took a little bit of time to put together, but we were live as of 3 weeks ago. I think we have 6 clients that are either contract signed or onboarded, and the early results have been phenomenal. One of our clients is using it to give entries for signing up on their website. We were able to get 50% more emails collected and 100% more SMS compared to the old 10% off spin to win for their lead gen pop-up, which is great.
Old spin to win.
All good old spin to win. I mean, it was A/B tested. It was performing really well. Like, it wasn't a slouch. So it was funny. I actually met with a guy who owns a very, very good pop-up company. And I told him our numbers, and he's like, "Can you show me?" And I showed him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, these numbers are great." And I was like, "Yeah, and look how ugly the pop-up is. Like, we still need to improve it. It was just working, so we kept it." But that was only the first level of analysis, right? Like, okay, people are signing up, then what? You don't just want people signing up. That's actually the last thing you want. You want the right people signing up that are interested in your product, not just signing up to win something. So we ran a 2-week A/B test, and the randomized cohort of people that signed up for the sweepstakes message versus the randomized cohort of people that signed up for the spin to win. The sweepstakes message generated 2.5 times as much revenue as our old spin to win. So it works.
I don't know what it is about it, but the sweepstakes, people love it. I think it's inherently, it's fun. It's exciting. But I think there's a novelty, and there's it's entertaining. Like, I enjoy it. I've come to, it's really grown on me over time. We're coming to the end of our time together. You've got so much experience with growing an e-commerce brand, conversion rate optimization, et cetera. For somebody who's early in their journey, on Shopify, building their online store, what advice would you give them?
You got to start with the product first. You got to make sure that it's something that people really like. It's a good quality product. People are going to, use it, enjoy it, maybe come back, recommend it to their friends. If you don't have a good product, you're playing a losing game. And there's a lot to get into there with, margins and how easy it is to get, lead times, etc.
All right. If I wanted to join Shared Sweeps, can I? Are there still openings? How does it work?
Yeah. So, what we're doing is we're trying to get representation from different sectors within e-commerce, right? We don't want 10 companies that all do sunglasses, right? We're, once we get a brand in one area, we're kind of leaving that one alone and try to get people from different segments. But go to sharedsweeps.com if you want to learn more. We've got a form you can fill out. We'll reach out to you, or reach out to me on LinkedIn, or Craig at sharedsweeps.com. Even if you just want to run a sweepstakes outside of sweepstakes or outside of shared sweeps, I will talk to people all day long about sweepstakes and help you launch one, whatever you need. I just fundamentally believe in them. And
you're a sweepstakes evangelist.
I'm a sweepstakes evangelist. I just love the concept of giving your marketing budget back to your customers.
It is, when you phrase it like that, it's great. 2024 is right around the corner. What do you envision the future of e-com being for Gas Monkey Garage? Do you think anything is going to materially change, or maybe you've got some cool collabs and partnerships on the horizon? What's new?
We do have some cool collabs on the horizon. I don't think we can talk about those yet. SEMA has been tremendous for us. We have a number of people that we love in this space and we watch and we're fans of, and we were able to come out here this year and meet them and find out that they were huge fans of us. So that was super cool. The cars that didn't exist literally 60 days ago that are here are getting a ton of media attention. That's going to get, we've been asked for those cars to go all over the world at this point. So who knows what's going to happen there. Like I think I mentioned previously in the call, we are laser focused from a e-commerce side on CRO, landing pages, A/B testing, really understanding our customer's journey. I think we have a tremendous amount of room there to grow. And the collab side, we've got a couple things we're working on, and then we've got some very cool cars coming in that you can't get anywhere else. So I don't know. It's cool that Richard can kind of get some of these allocations and then give them back to the fans, and spend good money on these cars to make them really special. That is going to end up at somebody's house.
Oh, I'm signing up for the Gas Monkey newsletter now.
Please do.
You got me with that one.
You got it.
There we go. Thanks for subscribing.
And now you have entries to Shared Sweeps.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm fundamentally ineligible because of this conversation.
True. Probably true.
But yeah. But I'm still looking forward to seeing it. Okay. Craig Martens, where can we go to learn more about you or your brands?
Sharedsweeps.com, gasmonkeygarage.com. Shared Sweeps is SharedSweeps. Gas Monkey Garage all over. Check us out on YouTube. It's funny how many people that are Discovery fans don't know that we have a YouTube channel, and the ones that really are into it, they think it's better than Fast Not ever was. So we're all over social media and we're all over LinkedIn, and come say hi.
Well, Craig, thank you for sharing the Gas Monkey story. Thank you for being an evangelist for Sweepstakes, because I've seen the success that they could bring firsthand, and I am thrilled that you sat down with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kurt. And honestly, you're a huge guy over at Gas Monkey Garage. Anytime we're working on a project, we search your podcast, and luckily you've brought in experts from all different areas, and we've learned a tremendous amount. So part of our success goes to you.
No, that makes my day. It really, true. I just got goosebumps. That's fantastic. Because I used to watch that show for years, and now it's like, oh wow, just totally, to just be 0.01% included. It's fun.
If you search unofficial Shopify podcast on our Slack channel, you'd have more hits than you know what to do with.
That's great. I love it. All right, I'm gonna look out for the next drop, sweepstakes giveaway.
Lambo.
Hopefully it's something cool. Craig Martens, Shared Sweeps, gasmonkeygarage.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kurt.
The unofficial Shopify podcast is brought to you by Loop. Loop is a returns management platform that makes returns profitable and stress-free for you and your shoppers. Loop offers automated returns, exchanges, and store credit options to lower costs and increase revenue. Do you want to offer at-home pickup or boxless drop-offs? Need to lower return costs or increase repeat purchases? How about all of the above? That's what's possible with Loop. Loop delivers customized returns management solutions for Shopify merchants of all sizes, like Studs, Princess Polly, Code Epoxy, to turn returns into returning customers. Find out why thousands of Shopify merchants choose Loop to manage their returns at loopreturns.com. That's loopreturns.com.